revival, sound, and a soul-stirring. Get ready to experience revival, sound, and a soul-stirring story. It's Traveling Shoes, the brand new workshop musical, premiering in Fresno, California, Saturday, February 28th at Moments of Blessings. Tickets can be purchased at eventbrite.com. You don't want to miss this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, here you have it. The conversation you all have been waiting for and waiting to have. We have in the studio with us some very prominent people who are just making headlines and doing what they do and lending their talent and gifts to the kingdom of God and the advancement of the craft of artistry. We have Christian David. Christian David is the spearhead and visionary behind a new I don't know if I want to say a off Broadway musical. I guess what he's doing is just an amazing paying homage to gospel and theater. And so we're glad to have him. He has a project that he's going to talk about. And with him as one of the actors, I guess, in this project is none other than Pastor, who's my actual cousin. Pastor Yarley Griffin is here to lend his voice in the conversation. So family and friends, let's welcome them to Believe Radio Fresno and to this cathartic conversation we're going to have about this new production entitled Traveling Shoes. All right. Well, to the visionary, Christian, how you doing, sir?
I am good. Blessed to be here. I'm good. I'm tired. And as we're getting closer to production date, things are getting tighter and tighter, but I'm good. I'm very excited. Very, very excited.
Good. Pastor Yarley, how are you, sir?
I'm great, wonderful, and all is well. Just happy to be on with my cousin and Christian. Good to see y'all. Yes, sir.
Well, listen, it's great to have the both of you. And of course, given the current climate and culture that we are in, anything dealing with the arts is right now, I guess, under fire and under attack. So anytime that you have something like this that gives a positive representation of story put to music, it is something we all should be a part of. Brother Christian, kind of tell us what was the impetus with you writing this and what this whole venture and project is about.
Well, towards the end of my time at Berkeley, a class I ended up taking that I didn't even know was offered was entitled Black Musical Theater, and that class really took us in a deep dive on the history of not just African Americans' involvement in theater, but I mean it started all the way from minstrel shows, went to vaudeville, and the different organizations that we had to start and that we founded, and also took us on journeys with actors like Harry Belafonte and all of them from that from that era. But one of the topics that we discussed during the course was musical reviews, which those that are not familiar with the musical review, it is literally a show with no through plot line. It's just song after song after song, but it's themed. It's centered around a certain particular theme. And so one of the most popular Black musical reviews is Ain't Misbehavin', which celebrated the music of Fats Waller. There is another review called After Midnight, which celebrates the music of Duke Ellington. Then there's another review called Smokey Joe's Cafe, which was around the music of Lieber and Stroller. Okay. And so as I was sitting there and we were talking about these reviews, for whatever reason, and I don't know why the thought popped in my mind, but as we were talking about Ain't Misbehavin', I was like, what if it was a musical review that centered around gospel? And I do personally believe one of the reasons why the thought probably popped in my head is because there have been attempts made at celebrating and featuring gospel music on Broadway before.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if it's been to this extent and with this level of authenticity. And so when I had that thought, the title hadn't come to mind. It was just like, oh, I wonder what would happen if this was a thing. And so we kept studying and working, and then traveling shoes just came to mind. And so as I was doing at Berkeley all the time, I just took note of it and put it in the back, and more and more kept fleshing out. And so then, the thought of 1950s and 60s gospel, to
Yeah.
be more direct, came to mind, because that's really the foundation of a lot of the gospel music that we sing and record now. Is based off of Andre Crouch, the Caravans, James Cleveland, Clara Ward.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah.
so,
I was going
yeah,
to get to that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Clara Ward. So I was like, wow, and we don't realize. And then the unsung, because he went, in another direction, not long after. But the unsung guy of gospel back then, Mr. Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not familiar with his gospel repertoire. So then I started tapping my chin about that. And so I started sharing the vision and the idea with some Berkeley professors, as well as some producers in the area, and they were like, "This is not really something I've seen before. How would this work? And they were like, and when I told them, they said, "This sounds like Ain't Misbehaving, Jelly's Last Jam meets gospel." And I said, "That's
It's like
essentially."
a hybrid. Then you're taking several different um, references or storylines and kind of melding them as one, huh?
Uh, a bit. This, because with Amos Behaving, it was just song and dance number after song and dance number, and this kind of takes that same format, but we're just doing gospel and celebrating gospel. And so yeah, it kind of takes and mirrors that same format. And so I told them, they were very excited about it. I don't know if, well, I won't say that, but they were excited about it. They were excited about it, and so we kept having I kept having more and more discussions about it with colleagues of mine, and the Lord, I prayed about it. I did pray about it, and the Lord gave me the timeline on when to go ahead and do this, and so I was like, okay, and so here we are. Is he frozen?
Looks looks like he's coming back.
Okay, well, Yardley.
Yes, sir. You can host. You can
Yeah,
host.
I guess I'm the host now.
You host.
So, you were one of the ones I reached out to, obviously, because you're in the show,
Yes.
about doing this show. So your take, before we even get into how your experiences in rehearsals and with the script, what has been your take on just the script and the story itself, have with your history of musical theater and having done the Wiz and Ain't Misbehaving and all that, what's been your take jumping back into this and this particular story?
Well, it's like you said, it's something I've never seen before. Like you said, I did the Wiz in high school, and then Ain't Misbehaving not too long after that, and then some other musical theater while I was in college. And that naturally that was many years ago now. But it's a take on something that I've never seen before in terms of gospel or religious music, and really different, but at the same time the story that is telling about gospel music, that's larger than just Thomas A. Dorsey, which was, who's the father of gospel music, but bigger than just his story, bigger than James Cleveland, bigger than Shirley Caesar, bigger than just quartet music or the John P. Key era. But it really tells us where it came from, and it's a fascinating looking and view of it all. And like we just had the other day, like I was telling my wife the other day, today I said, I see it. I see it. After Saturday, I said, oh, I see it. And I see where this is going. I see where it's coming. I see the character development. I see how the movements and the whole church style of it all being centered in church. Gospel being centered again in church. It was such an important facet of the story of the storyline. Without saying we got to sit in church, but it centers itself in church in the gospel era, and it just tells so many stories of music and the people that are situated inside the music. So so far for me, it's been an incredible opportunity, and it tells an incredible story without without finding negativity, without having to find a space to find something downtrodden or brokenness, but how gospel lifts people and takes them to another place, another level.
Thank you, co-host. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Christian, he start hosting for you.
Listen, let me tell you this, and I see Doris is in the green room. Listen, so we're going to bring her on. But listen, let me tell you this. This is funny. This has never happened. So we were talking, right? And I accidentally hit the power cord. I unplugged my computer and didn't even see. I turned a year older, and y'all pray for me. I don't know what's going on. I guess it was a senior moment. I don't know. That was crazy. But thank you, co-host. You did a wonderful job.
Good job.
Be ready in season and out of season.
Hallelujah.
You just got to be ready and prepared to jump in and keep it going. No, but yes, I thank you for stepping in and keeping the conversation, keeping it fluid. Let's bring in, and thank you, Pastor Yardley, for your awareness of what this piece means and why you felt compelled to lend your voice to it in its storytelling. Very, 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 very powerful. Can we bring Miss Doris Bumpus in?
Of course, yes. We gotta talk to Doris.
Let's bring her into the conversation. Now, I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go. All right. Hello, Miss Doris.
Hi.
How are you? Welcome to the chat conversation.
Thank you.
So I know that you were on and in the back room, green room, listening to the comments and everything, the commentary. I'm going to ask you just a brief question, and then I'm going to let Christian kind of keep this conversation going about how this resonated with you and why you got involved. What was it that spoke to you about this project when he came to you?
Well, actually, when he spoke about I was wondering, did I go out? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm having some really bad connection problems. But anyway.
Yep, connection problem.
Traveling shoes. Listen.
I mean,
while she's doing that, Krishna, I want to go back to the most prominent group that coined or sung that song or made that phrase popular was Clara Ward and the Clara Ward singers. I love gospel nostalgia. I don't know, I mean, you're an old soul too. Was there in any part of this process, was there any type of reference point to her body of work in this? Did you have to do kind of any research with other groups? How did you kind of formulate your process when you did this?
Yeah, this for the most part, and this show is a hodgepodge tribute from the 50s and 60s, but it does center around some particular individuals, that being the Clara Ward Singers, Caravans, James Cleveland, Andre Crouch. You see a lot, Mahalia Jackson. You see a lot of, you hear a lot of their work in this show. But I'm gonna tell you, it was so much fun going back and listening to all that material, and then having to record because all the references that I sent out for the show to the band and to the actors, about a little more than 50% of them I recorded. And I'm gonna tell you now, You think we have some crazy arrangements now and crazy stuff that I don't think people pay enough attention to what they were singing back then,
Mm,
because that stuff was very difficult. And there was one particular song, I won't say which one it is, but there was one particular song I had to re-record like 3 times because the parts were not right, and it was small stuff. And
mm.
so that gave me even a new appreciation for, the foundation that they laid. Because, we think we're doing something new. They were, man, they were singing back then. They were singing back then.
Yeah, some of the intricacies of the harmonies and the arrangements. That was something I was listening to, and I thought about that too. I was like, it wasn't just gospel. I think it was the Fifth Dimension. Who sung "The Days of Aquarius"?
Fifth Dimension.
Fifth
Yeah,
Dimension.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
And so there's a part in that song, when they go into harmony, and it's kind of like, wow, they even back then they just kind of had just this ear for arrangements and for parts. So yeah, I and intricacies, yeah,
yeah.
across all music
So
platforms.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I did definitely did a deep dive. Had to do a deep dive into Clara Ward. Um, and her reference to the song. And here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing about a lot of these songs, because I think people, they may feel like they know what they're walking into. They may not know what they're walking into.
Hmm.
There are so many recordings and references to a lot of these songs because they were re-recorded so many times, that that was also really fun listening to it. So um, I had a lot of fun with certain arrangements myself. So don't if you think you're coming to an organ drum just steady, mm-mm. I had fun with this show. I had a lot of fun with this show.
Uh, Pastor Yardley, was there any one moment in the rehearsing of this that you were like, oh wow, yeah, this is something special?
Well, going in, the first moment was, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to do this.
Mm.
That was my introduction. I was like, oh boy, I'm not gonna be able to do this. Well, notice I got shoes behind me, so I'm trying to travel with shoes and get out of this. I'm still trying to get out. So, so which actually was not done purposely, but it just happened to be that I just thought about, oh man, I'm sitting in front of all these shoes. But nevertheless, that's beside the point. No, again, the moment on this past Saturday in rehearsal, while it was at the 12 o'clock hour, and we were going through some other things, and there was one group on the stage doing some things, and then we were rehearsing something on the floor, and then myself and Christian went over to the side to do a Sam Cooke a number, a duet. And in that moment, I said, okay, I begin to see it, and I begin to grasp it, because I'm a huge fan of Sam Cooke.
Mhm.
And from the Soul Stirs all the way over to, the final change is gonna come. And I had told Christian when he asked me to do it, I said, if I'm gonna do this, I want to do change is gonna come. That's what I want to do. And he was like, nope, not in the script. It's like, wait, what? What's the point? What's the point?
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert!
yeah, yeah. But
Spoiler.
well, I'm letting you know right now. It ain't in there.
It
It ain't in there. But Sam Cooke is in there, and but we do this number that is so powerful. That is it's such a powerful number that we do as a duet from Sam Cooke, and in that moment, everything began to meld and come together. And I saw what they were doing on the stage. I saw what the other young ladies doing over there, and then how everything flows together, and the smoothness of the moment, because I needed in that space. I needed even though we were doing some hard Sam Cooke, I needed the smooth of the Sam to come out, and then in that space it came out, and everything just began to just come in, just come, just as one big circle. And so it's really exciting to be a part of it, from when we first started. And I was thinking to myself, I have no idea what this is and what I'm doing. I feel like I'm sitting in choir rehearsal, learning songs to now, because at first, we're just getting the songs together, getting our harmonies together, and then now actually seeing the story come together. And so it's amazing. No shade, Christian. You're a choir director. No shade. No shade.
So are you. So are you. So
We're not we're
are
not we're not we're not we're not talking about me though. We're not talking about me. We're not talking
you.
about, we're not talking about me.
We have finally our dear Doris Bumpus is in the conversation. You can hear us okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. We were just speaking to Pastor Yardley about what was it about this project that spoke to you or that resonated in a personal way. He mentioned the Sam Cooke um, component and piece to it. Was there a particular part of this for you that really spoke to you? And
Uh, Well, definitely Mahalia Jackson. But then I was trying to figure out, well, how did he connect the two? Um, me with that, because I do feel like my sound is like hers. Because that was one of the persons I listened to growing up. I used to sit for hours and hours, just kind of rocking back and forth, listening to her music and Aretha Franklin. And so it was just very interesting that he connected me to that part. So that was the main thing that stood out. And just that him really being interested in bringing that to life and bringing it to Broadway, and when he said that they're ready for it now, that really spoke volumes as well, is to tell our story, because our gospel music, it has such rich history and stories, right? It's part of our survival. That music is what got us through. So yeah, that's what stood out the most to me.
well, thank you. Typically media is invited to, dress rehearsals where we can kind of get a snapshot of what's happening, but we didn't get no invitation. However,
The press releases have not gone out.
what I will say, hold on, I'm working
Let the
to a
man
good
finish.
point here. The title is that after hearing and watching, I'm going to play a minute clip in just a minute, but after hearing about it, watching it, and talking to Christian about it, the title is very clever, because I asked a question on the onset of the interview, and I said, "Did you do a deep dive into Claire Ward, because she was one of the groups that made that song famous?" But by no means people assume that just because the title says "Traveling Shoes," that it's a one group expose, right?
Mhm.
It, from what I'm gathering, you culminated a lot of different rich um, stories under one umbrella. That's what makes this intriguing.
Mhm.
Because when you say traveling shoes, it's like you in your mind you're drawing conclusions. Oh, I know what this review is going to be, but not so. As we just have been told from the various characters and musical people in it. So yeah, wow, I'm looking forward to what the show is going to give us, because now my curiosity's peaked. Was that done on purpose, Christian?
Yes, honestly, yes, because I believe that this title, although it's the the gospel lover, the church member, their mind, as you said, is automatically going to go to the song. But the story that's been cultivated, and the music that's being celebrated from this era, I really do believe it takes you. We go on a literal journey
Mm-hmm.
throughout this entire show. And so, yeah, that was done purposely. I didn't know that what all it was going to be when the title "Traveling Shoes" came to mind. I hadn't fleshed everything out, but um, when God does, He does it well. And so, with a bunch of this, with all of this, actually, no, I really don't take any credit, because all this has been God birthed.
Well, it just sounds like, especially if it is a Broadway contender, which I do believe it should be on Broadway, that's going to make it even more trending and interesting to people, is that it's going to be something that they won't be able to just assume, but it's going to take them on a journey. And it's worth paying a ticket. You know what I mean? It's entertainment, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there something kind of quirky, whimsical in this that the audience will be in for a treat about?
There's one particular number that we went through this past Saturday that I adjusted that's going to be a lot of fun, and that even the responses that I got from those that were just sitting in the house, people are really going to appreciate that one. So yes, to answer your question, yes.
Well, let's see. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see something. Let's see. You know, this is the beauty of technology, right?
Mhm.
Yes,
It works with
yes,
you, and
yes, yes.
sometimes it just okay. Let's see this. Let's see. And it didn't look at that. See, I promise you, you know, these Christian can tell you, I really do better interviews than this. I don't know what this is going on. Oh my God.
While you doing that, the other thing I wanted to say about the title is that I believe, like I said, the church person, the gospel lover, their mind when they hear traveling shoes, some of their minds, I'll say this, I'll say that some of their minds will automatically go to the song, but I think to the average attendee, even those that aren't associated with church, when they hear traveling shoes, there, because that's one thing I've gotten over the past week. Oh, traveling shoes, what is that? It's an automatic pique in curiosity
Mhm.
because it's not an overly churchy title.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see this now. Okay.
yeah, okay.
This has definitely been a challenge I've been looking forward to.
A lot of work, but incredible fun.
Oh, the cast, working with the cast and Christian has been fantastic.
Amalgamation of amazing people and a great cast of characters.
I personally appreciate working with them and the challenge it brings to me. So I'm excited about the cast.
And then Christian is just all around a wonderful person.
His vision and clarity around the creative process, the end product has definitely been refined.
Production and directorial skills are just absolutely incredible. I love it.
I feel really privileged to be a part of what's happening and the beginnings of this particular show, which I know is going to go far. So I'm excited.
Okay. So that's a snippet, ladies and gentlemen, of Traveling Shoes, of what you can expect to see when you purchase your ticket and attend this. Tell us again when it's going to be, and are there one show, two shows?
Saturday, February 28th, two shows, a 1 o'clock show and a 5 p.m. show.
A 1 o'clock show and a 5 p.m. show. Is there any parting or lasting words, anything anybody wants to add to encourage those who are going to be considering attending? Any encouragement on why they should go and see this?
I want to say, don't consider, just come. Just come and experience this moment, experience this space, experience a love of gospel music and a love of people in that space and how we share with one another and love one another and watch some really unique people take the stage and share an amazing gift, an amazing God gift, and meet us at West Fallbrook on February 28th. And come on out. Let's do it.
All right. Doris, anything that you want to leave with the listening audience?
I say ditto. Have some, and what do you mean by unique though? No. You talking about my
Oh,
dance moves? What?
I was talking about mine.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. I'm like, he said it was gonna be some movement, but that's okay.
Oh boy.
You won't be bored.
No, come on out.
No, 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 no.
Christian, before I want you to close on this, but I want to circle back to something. And all the people that you could have reached out to, what in particular was it about the crew you gathered that spoke to you in a way that you felt could portray and bring these characters to life?
I have to be 100% honest. I know this may be cliche and deep, but it was literally prayer. I was literally sitting there, and the Lord said, "Call this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one." And I was like, "Okay." And I had actually, I don't know if she, I had been really interested in working with Doris for a long time, because Doris has we didn't get to go into it. Doris has an extensive theater resume.
Mm.
She had done, Lady Day at Emerson, The Color Purple. I mean, she's done a lot, and so when I connect with individuals or come across individuals who have a similar theatrical path that I have, of course you want to find a way to network and work together. So I had already been wanting to work with Doris. So when her name popped in my mind, I was eager. I was like, all right. And to hear her say that, I asked her to, I connected her with Mahalia, not knowing her connection to Mahalia. That was really interesting there. And even Yardley with Sam, not knowing that. So again, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. When God does something, he does it well. And I had no idea that I was even going to do this around this time. Literally went from inception last summer to we just did our full run through this past Saturday. So
If I could recapitulate what you just said, you know what that does? Does that put pressure on you all? To know that he prayed and God said you were the one that y'all can't mess up, like there's a whole lot riding on your performance.
Actually, for me, it releases pressure off of me because I've done this in the past, but I don't anymore. And Christian and I have worked together several times, and then there's been other things that and Christian can tell you this, I've told Christian no about 150 times about different things that he asked me to do. And then when he called me this time, he just asked, and before I even knew exactly what he wanted, I said, okay, I said yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. And I had no idea what I was saying yes to. And I said yes. And so, because I'm Christian, he always has something going on. There's never a moment that he doesn't have anything going on. You can look at that way if you want to, man of God. He always has something going on. And I'm like, no, Christian, I can't. I got this going on. I got that going on. And this time, before he even fully finished expressing what he wanted, I said, I'll do it. Just let me know when. Just let me know when and where. And so for me, it takes pressure off because when he called, I was ready to say yes. And so it has to be a God space. It has to be a God space. So actually it helps me be free in messing up.
Well, listen, you better fully embrace Sam.
All day, every day. All day, every day.
The good,
all day,
the
every
bad,
day.
and the ugly, right?
All day, every day. Yes, sir.
Doris, does this put pressure on you?
Yes, absolutely, because this is his vision, and you want it to be successful, right? And I believe in his dream. This is his thing, and so I want to do um, the best I can, and also present his artist. I'm respecting his artistry because again, things going on in his head. So like whenever he sends a script revision, it's like you're already prepared. Sees us moving and how we're interacting. I know things are coming to him. Enjoy the process because this is really, it's a blessing.
Yeah, it couldn't have come at a better time.
He was strategic and
oh, there is one more thing I'd like to add, and that makes this timing really interesting. And without going into specific specific things. In November of 2024, after a particular day, I was in class, and the professor for that particular class made an interesting statement. This was well before traveling shoes even entered in my brain. But she said, and the morale around the campus and around everywhere, it was really low. They're just going to be honest, it was extremely low. And she said, I'm actually really excited about the next few years ahead. And we were all like, I beg your pardon? What are you talking? She said, well, she said, if you look back in history, she said, anytime that there was unrest or anytime that there was opposition, she said, those are some of the most culturally creative times. She said, when poems were being birthed and songs were being birthed and shows were being birthed. She said those are some of the most creative periods.
I love that.
So she said some of the greatest works were birthed out of times of pain and resistance. And so she said, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of these next few years. And so, not in no way saying that that's why this show was created, but in this, it's interesting that this was incepted during a time where, as you said, right now arts are under attack, history is kind of under attack, and this story now more than ever kind of needs to be told.
I love that.
Yeah. I just think that this is the beginning of something historic. And I will add to what the professor said, which is so true, that anytime there's been a major shift in history, especially as it relates to people of color, we always found a song to strengthen us in the struggle, or some type of outlet to release that creative energy. And that's why the 60s were filled with music and singing groups, and because that's how we expressed our hope, our anticipation for a better future. I'm excited that you're one of us, right? That we're able to chronicle your life and say we were a part of this journey too, and we know that God has nothing but greater things in store for you and for UCAST. And so we just are excited to be a part of what's happening, and we'll do whatever we can to push it and promote it, because it is a must-see. It is a must-see. And thank you all for taking your time out and for having this conversation with us here at Believe Radio Fresno. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to purchase your tickets on Eventbrite, Traveling Shoes, for February the 28th. They have two shows, 1 p.m. and 5. Is that right?
Yes.
So make sure that you get your tickets. Bring some people, okay? Don't just come by yourself. Bring some people. Bring some young people. Let them get exposed to creative things, wholesome things, other than just sitting on TV or scrolling on their phone. Looking at TV or scrolling on their phone. So this will be a great outlet and avenue to invest and to get them used to investing in quality things. I think we need to be more high society, if you will. It reminds me of the Harlem Nights. It's like we've gotten so accustomed to getting away from attending nice things as a community. But this is one of those nice, wholesome, uplifting things. So do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, and
support live theater.
Yeah.
Support live theater.
Yes, sir. It's necessary.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for your time. And again, it's been a pleasure hosting this conversation. Christian David, we're proud of you, man. And we just know that God has more that he's going to release through you. And so we're looking forward to all that's going to unfold. All right. We're going to close with a commercial, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.
All right. Peace.
And I guess my end buttons are not working today.